Oh, it's the lights. Let's talk about my story. Started New Year's Day 2016. I ended up in the ER, had no idea why. I just had like this excruciating pain. Maybe a couple weeks later, I have my cycle. It is painful. It is something that is unbearable. I was crying in a corner trying to identify like what is going on. I was bleeding heavy and for a longer period of time. I make an appointment. I go to see my OBGYN, and at that time when I went, she did a pelvic exam, like a pap smear, and automatically she said, yes, you have fibroids. Which I knew what I've known now, then I would have asked for, like some type of scan. I would ask for more information. How does she identify that I have fibroids? All of that, just not only just based on a pelvic exam. However, so when I go, she automatically say, okay, well, you need to go ahead and get a myomectomy to remove the fibroids. Again, I'm uneducated at this time, but I say, okay, you're the doctor, you've been trained, I get a myomectomy in March 2016. To this day, I do not know how many fibroids I had. That was the first era of my journey. So I'm thinking, okay, after I have this myomectomy, fibroids are gone. I don't have to think about this no more. I am done. And wrong. I learned that my fibroids came back in 2020 because I would start having the same symptoms as I had in the past, with having heavier cramps, heavier periods, longer periods, just mood swings is out of control, just very irritable, don't want to be bothered, like all of that stuff. So right before the pandemic, 2020, I learned that my fibroids came back, quote unquote. To the same OBGYN, and she stated, well, it's okay, we can just do surgery again. So when you want to go? Again, no ultrasound, no other check-ins, not even a, hey, what do you want to do in this process? Like for her, it was just so easy to do a myomectomy, and for me, it just wasn't sitting well in my soul. You can't keep poking at something and the integrity of it will stay the same. So I immediately went home and I started researching this time. Remind you, 4 years have passed by from 2016 to 2020, my surgery time. And just the overall procedure and the feeling I had of surgery, I never want to do that again. They say it is equivalent to having a cesarean, a C-section. However, I started researching and learned through Dr. Sebi, which was the only thing that I found online, the only person who had even mentioned anything about uterine fibroids. And he was basically saying you can flush out fibroids, you can heal yourself from it. So I'm like, okay, I changed doctors. I go to a new OBGYN, and she confirmed all of this. She confirmed, yes, she has heard other people, shrunk their own fibroids, or they get to a point that they may still have fibroids, but they're not in pain. And that was not my main goal. Like, I just don't want to be in pain, so maybe I don't have to have surgery. And then a little bit later, I identified that, yeah, if I change my lifestyle, I can avoid having surgery. And again, that was my main goal. Like, I just need to avoid surgery at this time. So in 2020, with the new OBGYN, I did learn through an ultrasound that I had 4 uterine fibroids. Biggest fibroid that I had was 7.76. So they go by width. That's pretty big. And I identified that I had 3 of the 4 type of fibroids. The one that I have never had was a peduncular one, which is the fibroid that's attached to your uterine but hang outside. 2020, I've been yo-yoing. I have not been consistent, and that's what I'm trying to do now. So I've done a lot of ultrasounds throughout the years. My last ultrasound, unfortunately, was not the best, and I kind of knew it because I was wilding out here, y'all. I was eating bad. I stopped working out. I was drinking almost every day, drinking alcohol. like every day, and my body just felt, I just felt disgusted. I was bloated. And again, here we go back to the mood swings, the heavy period. Although that I applied some things, you know, through my journey from 2020 to 2024, like it just still wasn't enough, because I have to be consistent with it. My ultrasound in December 2023, I learned that, ma'am, you don't have 4 fibroids no more, you have 7. And with the 7 fibroids, your biggest one is 5 centimeters. So no. And on top of that, you have 2 cysts on your ovaries. Now, you can have cysts on your ovaries and have fibroids at the same time, because the two are not the same. You have ovaries on this side, and then you have your uterus on this side. And although they are connected, they're not the same. Anywho, so with that, I was like, okay, I have to be consistent, and I have to get on it and change my overall lifestyle so that, again, I can avoid surgery. So we're here. So with that, I am bringing you guys on this journey with me. I'm going to talk about how I swap out food to make just better, clean living, eating, how I find cleaner products. And now there's like almost every brand have the cleaner version, or they just start and sustain organic products and clean ingredients. And that's what we ideally want to go to. Also, I learned all these other things about what you should and should not do, which again, I will share along with all of that. So thanks for joining me. And I know it's a lot. And if you have fibroids, please stick around. You can get through it without having surgery. And or if you feel like you do want to have surgery, there are different types. You do not automatically need to have a hysterectomy or myomectomy at all. So there are options, and we'll get there together. All right, y'all. Peace.